Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got a trailer breakdown for you, 2 trailer breakdowns in fact. We're starting off with a Levolution trailer shown at Gamescom Germany, and then we're going to finish up with the Battlefield 4 Premium trailer. There's a ton of information in here, so let's get started. So literally within the first few seconds of gameplay here, we see the new rocket launcher. This is the SRA rocket launcher. It was available in Battlefield 2. It stands for Short Range Assault Weapon, and we have confirmed that this gun is this rocket launcher is going to have some form of guiding available to it, whether or not it's lock-on or you can actually move the missile around on your own after fired. Now this trailer moves quickly, and this next freeze frame here is the RHIB. This is the Rigid Hold Inflatable Boat, the same thing that is available in Battlefield 3. However, you'll remember the Battlefield 3 one had a 50 cal. This one has a minigun, which is certainly going to be a much more potent weapon. Now, an odd thing about this scene here is that we're on a boat in the middle of a city. In fact, it seems like we're going down a city street that is filled with water, and in fact, that is the case here. And the only reason I can think that there would be water in this city street here, because it's not Venice, is that a dam has broken open due to Levolution physics, and we now have a map that has been flooded with water, allowing you to take boats anywhere on the map and have boat versus infantry combat. Now they're going to show us that not only are large things parts of Levolution, but also small areas of maps, like taking down the support structure here with a grenade launcher lowers this ramp. Different buttons can be pressed on the map to operate defensive maneuvers. This one here brings down a security fence. You also notice that the weapon that they're using here is something we haven't seen before. This is the SAR-21. It stands for Singapore Assault Rifle 21st Century. This is the first time we actually have seen any in-game footage of it. Next up, we have one of the coolest weapon additions, and something that I didn't even know existed until I saw this trailer. This is the CBJ-MS. It's a Swedish-made PDW. It's got a very cool green color to it, and it looks a lot like an Uzi with a rail on top. But check out this image. It's a bipod. It's got an awesome-looking stock and a drum magazine. This could be a crazy little death machine. Again, we see parts of Microevolution. Being able to close that train door while throwing a grenade inside is definitely a cool upgrade. We have some quick SAR-21 canted iron sights action here, and now a brand new knife. This specific knife was available in the Battlefield 3 single player, and it's nice to see some variety for the Battlefield 4 multiplayer. We get a nice little look at the AK-12 here. A US soldier's carrying it. It almost looks like it's red in this image. I'm not sure if that's video tinting or whatnot, but we definitely have some interesting camos available to us. It's a really cool looking AK weapon. Can't wait to use this. Now we get to take a look at a new machine gun. This is the H&K MG4. It basically looks a lot like an M249, just the H&K version of it. It shoots 5.56 rounds. I expect it to be a pretty fun little machine gun. Now if you watch closely, you'll see a fire extinguisher is detonated here, creating a giant cloud of smoke. And now the player is able to use the new infrared sight to see this player through the smoke screen. This is definitely going to bring in a lot of new tactics for winning firefights. It'll be very interesting to see how much we can use the environment to actually defeat our enemies versus just straight up shooting them. Again, I've paused the trailer here because we're looking at the UTAS UTS 15. This is a bullpup 12 gauge pump action shotgun, and what's really interesting about this weapon, and I'll be very curious to see if DICE does it right, is that the weapon has 2 7-round magazine tubes in the gun that can actually be alternated when selecting fire. Now the reason for alternating between these 2 magazines is that you might want to have one kind of shotgun ammo in one tube and a different kind in the other tube. Imagine having flechette rounds in one, buckshot in another, slug rounds in one, explosive rounds in the other. That would be very cool if they implemented a feature that allowed you to switch between 2 different ammo types with that particular shotgun. Now pay attention to the little green dot in the center of the screen. The player is about to shoot it, and it's going to cut power to this whole interior. Now we get to see why he had that big funky scope on top of a shotgun. Well, it just goes to show you how many different options you now have in close quarter engagements. Take out the lights, switch to your infrared or night vision sight, and waste people in the dark. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now we get to see some before and then after Levolution shots on Siege of Shanghai, and then we have Paracel Storm literally showing the weather dynamics changing on the map mid-battle. Here's an awesome ship scene that I want to talk about later, and then I freeze framed it here because this is basically two guys on a dirt bike. So we're getting dirt bikes back in Battlefield 4, which is great news. The footage of this dam breaking over here proves that we're definitely going to have some sort of dam Levolution. The boat's going down the alleyways with water. Seems like it's going to be in the same map there. We see wind turbines getting taken out on Parasol Storm here. Again, more footage of that destroyer, and I want to pause it here. Although a smokestack crumbling down isn't necessarily the most impressive thing next to the other Levolution that we've seen, we see that there's a lot of trees in the background here. This looks like it could be a very infantry intensive map, and if nothing else, something with lots of trees in it, which is frankly something we haven't gotten in Battlefield 3 too much. Caspian Border had some trees, but that looks like a pretty dense area. This next freeze frame is of the Air SIBO Observatory. This is in Puerto Rico, and it is a huge radio telescope. Having seen 007 GoldenEye, where there's an action scene around this telescope, already puts the imagery in my mind of how cool a battle scene can be in this environment, and I cannot wait to see what this is like in Battlefield 4. And finally, we finish off the trailer with a little more dam breaking here. We see rocks smashing stuff on the ground, and that finalizes the Levolution trailer breakdown. Now, as for the Battlefield 4 Premium trailer, I'm going to show you a few images that I think pretty much tell a story within themselves. This image here pretty much confirms that Operation Firestorm is coming back in Battlefield 4, and as if this image isn't enough proof, we also have this one here. Then we also have proof that Gulf of Oman is coming back in Battlefield 4. These two shots are clearly of that map. And now this clip here shows us proof that Operation Metro is coming back in Battlefield 4. And wait for the end clip here, the roof is going to cave in on this guy. So it looks like Metro is going to have a lot more destructibility built into it, potentially a lot of new pathing and ways to block off certain areas to go. So looks like they're going to give it a nice overhaul for the interior firefights to maybe support additional players better. Now we have footage of the radio tower in Caspian Border coming down, so Caspian Border is going to be back in Battlefield 4, which is great. It was honestly one of the better maps from Battlefield 3. Then we have some quick little clips of devs working on some very large looking maps. Not sure where those are located. Ultimately, that wraps it up for the Premium trailer breakdown. I'd like to thank the Reddit community for providing so much research and information on these trailers. It's a really great resource if you really want to delve into every little nitty-gritty detail about Battlefield 4. Stay tuned, I'm going to have the Parasol Storm trailer breakdown shortly. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.